the news, Ex-Afghan prison chief goes on trial in a Dutch court over alleged war crimes. 5 people, including children, killed in Mogadishu as al-Shabaab attacks police stations. The Tigress to receive 25 million naira presidential cash reward following victory against Mali. Details coming up shortly. This is TOS Television, your digital first Pan-African news network. I am Rose Audu and this is TOS News 360. An elderly Afghan man has gone on trial in a Dutch court for alleged war crimes while in charge of a notorious jail for the Afghan communist regime in the 1980s. The 76-year-old, identified as Abdul R, came to the Netherlands in 2001, later acquiring Dutch nationality, and was arrested in 2019. A swimmer has been killed after sustaining disastrous wounds in the first fatal shark attack in Sydney since 1963. Another onlooker who was fishing on the rocks at the time told newsmen that the swimmer was yelling at first, and then, when he went down, there were so many splashes. Police said human remains were found in the water after the deadly attack. And Kuwait's constitutional court has reversed a law that outlaws limitations of the opposite sex and was used to prosecute transgender people. The Gulf States Parliament amended Article 198 of the Penal Code in 2007 to make the offence punishable by up to 1 year in prison and a fine. But a latest court ruling said the amendment violated the Constitution. And to bring you stories from Nigeria, the Senate has passed the Chartered Institute of Forensic and Fraud Examiners and 3 other bills for concurrence. The bill was sponsored by Yahaya Abdullahi. In his lead debate, Abdullahi recalled that the Chartered Institute of Forensic and Fraud Examiners of Nigeria Bill 2022 was read for the first time on December 1. According to him, the bill seeks to establish the Chartered Institute of Forensic and Certified Fraud Examiners of Nigeria to provide for the control of its membership and promote the practice of forensic and fraud examinations in Nigeria. And as part of efforts to sample views of Nigerians on the aftermath of the NSAS protest in 2020, a non-governmental organization, Clean Foundation, held a methodology workshop and police reform audit. Speaking with newsmen in Abuja, the head of research department of Clean Foundation, Olumayowa Olaniyi, said the workshop was carried out so as to get the opinion of Nigerians and critical stakeholders on reforms engaged in by the police and the Nigerian government after the NSAS protests in the country.
This workshop is being organized to get a larger view of Nigerians' opinions, to get the thoughts, perception of critical stakeholders in a tool that we are developing to be used very soon on our efforts to understand the initiatives of reforms that the Nigerian government and the leadership of the Nigerian police force has engaged in since the NSAS protest. So this methodology is organized to bring people together, stakeholders together, CSOs, MDAs together, so that all of us can look at the tool that we are taking to the field together and probably bring suggestions, ideas into it that we can incorporate to have a standard tool that everybody will appreciate by the time that we are done with the field work.
So, but overall, the question is that it appears that you have more people who have that are not professional in their conduct, that seem to have sort of beclouded the number of the few that are professional. So when you look at it from that perspective, there is tendency for you to make that broad statement to say the police has not performed. So you cannot reform the police in isolation. You have to also look at other critical sectors within the society and reform and do a holistic reform, governance reform, and all of that.
A lot of corruption goes on in the police, so the basic thing that needs to be done with those in the force now is to discipline them so that they come back on track. Now, also, those in the police academy, this is where people like Clean would come in. They need to work with them so that when they come out, they see things differently.
So what can be done is improving accountability mechanism, improving accountability measures, holding airing officers accountable for their misdeeds. It's also important to ensure capacity building for the police over time, capacity building for the police over and over again, continuous training of the police, especially on human rights issues in policing, which the Commission engages in over time. It will also be helpful to improve funding. Funding for the police is also.
This is your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television, and you're watching TOS News 360. More national, Africa, business, and sports stories when we return. To stay with us. The Office of the Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibaja, the Embassy of the State of Israel in Nigeria, in collaboration with Skillg Nigeria Limited, on Monday took the media on a facility tour to witness the development process of transforming ideas into inventions of the second phase of the Innovation Fellowship for Aspiring Inventors and Researchers Initiative, IFA2, in Abuja. While taking the media on the tour, IFA mentor from Israel, Saron Perez, and others noted that Nigeria would no longer continue to import commodities that citizens need into the country, as the youth are up to compete with developed countries to produce the needed products. This is as the participants of the IFA2 have continued to showcase excellence using the facilities to bring out their best while on the program.
Building already operating businesses and creating added value or creating things that will make the business more profitable, more valuable, etc. And I think people here are doing amazing jobs. We just try to help as little as we can for them to be the true owners of their projects and to be totally independent while they live here.
Many of them will end up becoming entrepreneurs. Many of these prototypes will scale up into business enterprises, into startups. So Nigeria should be expecting wealth creation, should be expecting job creation, should be expecting participation, active participation in the process of transforming ideas.
What we're trying to do in IFER is to empower the local entrepreneurs and innovators to really turn their ideas from an idea into a real solution.
The question is that how do you move them from being a potential liability to assets? It's by injecting some of this emerging knowledge in them. Not only that, creating environments where there can be fusion and cross-pollination of ideas with the aid of industries. Now that's exactly what is happening here.
IFA is an initiative which prioritizes investment on youth innovation and research programs to promote financial independence among Nigerians and curb the scourge of poverty in the country. To bring you stories across Africa, Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Damiba has been sworn in as Burkina Faso's president 3 weeks after he led a coup that overthrew democratically elected Christian Kabore. In a televised ceremony, Damiba took an oath before the country's top constitutional body to preserve, respect, uphold and defend the constitution, the nation's laws and a fundamental act of key decisions approved by the military. No fewer than 5 people, including 2 children, have been killed in an attack by al-Qaeda-linked group on Somali capital state, Mogadishu. According to officials, the al-Shabaab fighters have attacked several police stations and security checkpoints in Somalia's capital, even as the country prepares to hold a long-delayed presidential election. In business, oil marketers associations in Nigeria have resolved to start blending the over 100 million liters of adulterated petrol, which was imported into Nigeria over 2 weeks ago. It was gathered on Tuesday that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited had yet to recall all the contaminated petrol, as the commodity had been occupying spaces in the tanks of filling stations. And in sports, the Nigerian national women's basketball team, the Tigers, is to receive a cash reward of 25 million naira from the federal government following their victory against Mali in the final of the championships in Cameroon to emerge winner of the Afro-Basketball Women's title for the 4th time in a row. This is as President Muhammadu Buhari gives approval to a recommendation by the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, that a token of appreciation be given to the African queens of the courts for making the nation proud. And that is TOS News 360 on your digital first Pan-African News Network. For more updates, visit www.tostvnetwork.com. Do follow and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. Stay with us and enjoy more programs on TOS Television Network. I am Rose Audu, and many thanks for watching.